Hi there, everybody. Just before we get into this month's episode, and I say this month because the podcast will be going out monthly for the time being. I'm hoping that I can get to weekly in the autumn again, but with my current book writing and gig schedule, once a month it's going to have to be. I'm hoping that you might be able to help me get to the once a week free podcast, and you can do that by supporting the podcast in many different ways. The first would be to simply share on your socials. The second would be to follow on the podcast platform on which you listen. The third would be just to like the episode on your podcast platform as well where you listen. And also send me a message if you're enjoying it. If you're enjoying the podcast, it really does motivate me to keep doing it, because it can be quite lonely sat in a home studio, editing, staring at a screen, not knowing who's listening, not knowing if someone's enjoying it. If you are enjoying it, do send me a message via the Instagram page, and that would be Camino de Santiago Pilgrims Podcast on Instagram, or just by liking our page on Facebook, Camino de Santiago Pilgrims Podcast. You could also buy me a coffee if you feel like doing that, and that's buymeacoffee.com/Pilgrims Podcast. buymeacoffee.com/Pilgrims Podcast. I do love a cup of coffee. And also, if you like reading or you like audiobooks and listening to books, you could also purchase my Camino de Santiago memoir, which is an Amazon UK comedy chart and travel writing bestseller. The most recent review on amazon.co.uk goes a little something like this, written by Karen Sloan. Thank you, Karen, wherever you are. 5 stars she gave it. An inspiring memoir was the headline. She wrote, "I thoroughly enjoyed The Only Way is West. I was captivated from the first page and literally couldn't put it down. I'm planning to walk the Camino next May, and this book has made me want to jump on a flight today and begin my adventure." So if you're looking to get a little bit of motivation for your upcoming Camino, or to relive those lovely Camino memories, and you like a funny read or a funny listen, look for The Only Way is West on Amazon. Now it's time to get into this month's episode with the Shell Toucher, who is a very entertaining guest and is about to drop tons of Camino tips you've never ever heard before. I love this interview. You will too. Cheers, everybody. It's the searchers I seek, the wisdom that they speak, the lessons that they teach. Just a search. Hello there, once again, fellow peregrinos. Welcome to El Camino de Santiago Pilgrims Podcast, where we talk about tips, tricks, and hacks, and anything at all to make your journey along the way a lot more enjoyable. Today's guest is, on episode number 90, today's guest is the Shell Toucher, who is a pilgrim, a gear tinkerer, and creator of the Camino-inspired YouTube channel, which goes by the same name, Shell Toucher. The Shell Toucher blends humor, practical advice, and unfiltered Camino reflections through his videos and gear. What started as a personal obsession is now a small but mighty passion project that's helping pilgrims walk a little smarter and maybe laugh a little more along the way. You've certainly made me laugh on your Instagram channel, Mr. Shell Toucher. So I guess the question on everyone's lips, most important question is Shell Toucher your real name?
Well, it's Shell's short for Sheldon.
Oh, okay, naturally.
Yeah, Sheldon Toucher.
Okay, Mr. Sheldon Toucher. Oh, right. That's a
no. I go by Hodges, which is it's really my last name, but it's kind of the name I've gone with for the last, I don't know, since college. So it's more like a Madonna type Morrissey Prince thing I'm going for, I think. So
okay, the person formerly known as is now Hodges.
Hodges, yeah.
It's a good strong name, Hodges. Good strong name.
I think so. It means good swordsman in like Viking or something like that. I'm pretty sure.
I wondered if you had some problems with the revenue or something, and that's why you just came up with
it. Yeah, it's contractual.
Yeah, okay. Mum's the word on that. No problem at all.
Yeah.
So, Hodges, please tell us, Shell Toucher, please tell us where you came up with the name with the Shell Toucher. What's that inspired by? Because it does conjure up some rather
colorful
yeah images, or could be interpreted in many different ways.
Yeah, definitely in Central America, I've run into that problem. Kind of like when you're asking for a straw, you got to use the right word in Spanish because that
Hmm.
word changes all the time no matter where you are, and you might either get slapped or an actual straw. And it's the same thing with shell toucher. I've only found out after the fact, but yeah, well, it came out my first Camino. We had a group of us. Well, we met along the way, and we called our group, our family, the Shell Touchers, because that was our thing. We had like, that old like when you make a toast, you have to, or take your first sip, you have to look in each other's eyes, otherwise it's 7 years of bad sex or something like that. That was the thing. I was teaching them that, and so they came up with their own like I don't know antidote for that is if you do in fact forget to look in someone's eyes, be sure to touch a shell, and that will clear you of that. And there was a whole long mythos around this, and so we were all the shell touchers. We were the shell toucher collective. In fact, actually, I think we were Lorenzo and the Shell Touchers. He was one that was with
All
us.
right, great
But
band for a name
so
as well. Great name for a
yeah,
band, should I
right.
say?
Yeah. And so after that, I kind of took it on as my own thing. And because I needed a channel name, and an Executive Pilgrim just didn't really flow well. So Shell Toucher it was. And then I started to hear things after, but I already started, I already bought the domain name and stuff like that. So I couldn't change it to, you know.
You've gone
So
all
here we
in.
are. Yeah, I've gone all in. I own it now.
Well, thank you for clearing that one up. We can take
Yeah,
you
I'm not
seriously
a
now.
weirdo in that regard.
We
Yeah.
can take you seriously now. So, tell everybody the Caminos that you've walked.
Oh, I've done the Camino Frances twice. I've done the Primitivo, the Norte, and of course the Finisterre afterwards and Muxia. I've done those, and this year I will be attempting. Well, I'm definitely doing and completing the Portuguese, and I'm going to start actually on the Frances for the first 2 weeks, and then hop on over to Porto and do the Portuguese there just to get like a full month worth of walking out
Nice
of it.
plan. You must have touched a lot of shells.
I've definitely touched a lot of shells and washed, and I don't wash my
Okay.
hands. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
TMI. TMI.
yeah. Sorry.
No, crack on, mate. Well, like I
Yeah,
said, we're bringing a
yeah.
little bit of humor to this. I like it.
We're gonna bring a
Um,
lot.
so I guess let's get straight on to the first question. On your Instagram page, which is extremely entertaining. If anyone wants a little bit more of an irreverent take on these tips, tricks, and hacks, then definitely follow the Shell Toucher on Instagram. You mentioned the best alberg ever. That is a bold statement. Hundreds,
It
possibly
is.
thousands of albergs. Can you do the big reveal now of the alberg? I mean, otherwise it'd be like the mediocre reveal, I guess. In my case,
Yeah,
anyway.
that that is actually that's a little bit of a teaser for the YouTube for the that episode on the where was I? I was in the Primitivo for that one, and this albergue is something else. I actually have a favorite albergue for every community I've been on, but this one was called Albergue Palacio de Meras, and that's in Teneo, I believe. And that was in the basement of this hotel, this luxury hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And they had like these fantastic bunks. They had a spa down there, huge bathrooms, like showers for like, I think it was €8. It was ridiculous though. Talk about
What?
executive pilgrim. It was really, it was luxury albergue for nothing, for pennies. And yeah, they had a spa, and spas looks, we always fantasize like on the Camino, like, oh, it's too bad there's not a hot tub waiting for me at the end of this or whatever. But they had one. No, they didn't have a hot tub. You'll never find a hot tub in Spain, but they did have a spa. And yeah, so
Spain
that
is
alone,
Spain is pretty much a hot tub itself, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, northern Spain is definitely
Now, I'm just
they
sharing my
just
screen here. I don't know
oh,
if you can see that.
oh yeah, yeah,
That's the
that's
one.
it.
De Peregrinos, Palacio de Meras. And that's
Yeah, and
in,
I
as you
have
can see there, Tineo.
it isn't today. Yeah, that's I have that in I think it's like day 3 or day 4 of my vlog on YouTube. But if you want to see a little bit more on the inside, or your listeners do, but that was definitely an epic albergue.
Wow.
It blew my
Thank you for
mind.
that. That is an extremely inviting recommendation. So thanks for that.
Yeah,
And that's on the Primitivo.
that's on the Primitivo, and Spanish culture is a little different than what we're used to, anyways. And I just remember going to the steam room, like I was like exploring the place. I'm running around, like really excited, like really hyper, highly caffeinated, and I run into the steam room, and there's a woman in there, like just that I've been hiking kind of with. I've seen her around, and she's there like just smiling like nervously at me, and I'm like, all super excited, like, this is awesome. And I give her thumbs up, and then I realize she's completely naked, and I'm giving her two thumbs up, and I'm like, oh. And I kind of like just slid out of there, but it was
Yeah, a little bit awkward, right?
awkward, definitely memorable. So
Memorable for all the wrong reasons. Well,
yeah,
maybe
for
she's
all the
probably
wrong
telling
reasons.
people the same story that you're telling, but from a
She's
straight.
like, this creep came in, gave me two. And then I saw the next day at breakfast. I really, it's just it's
And he called himself the
misadventure.
shell toucher as well.
Yeah. He introduced himself as the shell toucher, gave me two thumbs. Yeah, it's no.
Well, thanks for that recommendation. That's a cracking recommendation. Cheers.
Yeah, it blows my mind.
Okay, you also mentioned amongst your many very useful practical tips, tricks, and hacks on your Instagram channel. If you've got limited training time, how can you get more bang for your buck? Or in our case, as pilgrims, kudos for your kilometers.
What I love about you, Bradley, is you're like you are the like the Punisher when it comes to puns, and when it comes to alliteration, you're like the god of it.
Cheesy
And
bastard. Yeah, I know.
no, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Okay, so to double damage, really, when it comes to if you have limited time to work out or to hot train, limited space, maybe. Like for me, in my backyard, I have a couple miles of woods back there, but it's only a couple miles, And so if you really want to like get prepared for the trip, because you're going to be walking miles and miles a day, I recommend using resistance pants, which are kind of like cyclist pants, spandex wise, but as an added bonus, they have um, resistance bands sewn into them. And there's a couple different variations and brands when it comes to these. My favorite are Agogie, Agogie, and Physiclo, which is Physiclo. I've done a whole YouTube tips, tricks, and hacks on these pants. So if anyone is curious, if I'm speaking too fast, check that out. But these have resistance pants built inside, so you can feel it. You can really feel this and it works your legs. So 1 mile is easily like 3 miles in these bad boys. And if you're rucking it, if you're wearing a weighted pack too, it really adds to it. So you can really give your body a full days worth of a workout with less space and less time. I mean, you could wear these all day long too. You can wear them at work. You can wear them stairs up to the apartment, whatever the case may be. It just adds some resistance to your everyday gait or walking.
And it sounds like first of all, that's a brilliant tip that
Right.
in 90 episodes we haven't heard on the podcast. This is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to break new ground, and you've done that. So thanks for that.
No
And I
problem.
guess like sometimes like when I was playing a lot of football, or in your case, soccer.
Yeah.
Part of my thing is
Foosball.
yeah, part of my thing is like my coaches used to tell me to walk around the house in ankle weights to strengthen the legs. But you can't really do that
Bad.
walking down the
It's
street, can you? Because people are going to look at you funny, like, what has this person got on the bottom of their feet? But this one, no one
yeah.
knows you're wearing them.
Yeah, and actually wearing ankle weights, training like that is bad for your gait and it can really do a lot of damage to your legs.
Yeah,
Ankle weights are for like mat work. If you're doing yoga, you're doing
yeah,
leg raises, that's when you wear them. But like I see a lot of people training with them too, and it's like, don't, you got to stop that right away because you're gonna really screw up your before you even get there.
yeah.
So yeah, no, I'm all about resistance training, like always have been.
That's a cracking tip. Thank you. Got to stop saying cracking. I don't know where that's come from. But anyway, cracking.
Yeah, we don't know what that means over here. We're like, he keeps talking about crack.
Well, cracking in a
Yeah.
British dialect is
No, I get it.
it's
Yeah.
very good. It doesn't have it's nothing to do with narcotics, but anyway. So this one resonated with me that I saw that you posted on your Instagram channel because you talk about the mad cow chase story. Now, before I went on my Camino, I read in Bill Bryson's book Notes from a Small Island, which is about his travels and life and living in the UK. That says a stat that the UK's most dangerous animal is a cow. 74 people butted, trampled, or crushed to death in the last 20 bloody years. Now, I remember coming face to face with a cow in Galicia and having this line run through my head: 74 people killed by cows. And, I managed to get through it. How did you get through it? Tell us the full story and how other people can not be killed by cows or other what
Well,
large animals.
Yeah.
But you
Well,
do meet them,
there
don't you? I mean, you meet
you
animals.
definitely meet.
I've met
I was almost attacked
horses.
by a dog. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
wild
I've
dogs.
met
They're
them
all out there
all.
on the Camino.
No, they really are. I had a run in with a dog that was actually much more scarier than the cow. But the cow, that's kind of, again, a teaser of the vlog. And I did kind of speed up the footage so it looks like it's running a little bit faster. It looks like I'm running with the bulls, kind of, but I'm running with a cow. The cows have horns, though. They don't tell you about that in elementary school. I always thought like it was the bulls with the
No, they're
horns.
scary.
In
Yeah, you
Spain, they
come
don't
close to
care.
them.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
and
and
they're
no,
big as
so the
well.
cow, yeah, they're with very any big animal, I'm a little nervous around, and that actually, well, I'm trying to think, that was the mother. There was a baby cow involved too, weeks earlier. I don't know if they were related. If they were, it would make more sense. The mother was coming for revenge, maybe, but yeah, she just wouldn't get out of my way. She had hopped a fence. They hop too, hopped a fence and got on the trail, and I had to get around her, and it was a very thin trail. You couldn't really do that, and I'm not necessarily sure. Actually, I know for a fact now after the fact that she wasn't chasing me. She was actually trying to get back to the fence so I was like stopping her, getting in the way from getting in between her and where she wanted to go. So she was just coming my way, not necessarily chasing me, but it definitely made for more viewership. I mean, it increased it, I think, when I
Yeah,
tease with a cow chase. People love a good cow chase. What am I gonna,
just to don't be surprised if you do encounter large animals and just take.
You do,
Yeah,
and I do have advice. Like, don't make. I do know that you don't make eye contact with a cow, and you try to get something in between you and the large animal, like a tree maybe or something like that. But yeah, if you make eye contact with them, they might take that as a threat and gorge you with their horns.
and maybe don't carry like if you've had a McDonald's recently, make sure you got the wrappers in your bag because they might think
Yeah, you don't. I'm vegetarian. I always try to tell them that, communicate that. Like I don't even eat you, and I don't wear red, you know,
Ah, but
because
you're
I
wearing
always look at
red
people.
now, huh?
Well, yeah, I mean, this is just my small toro, but
Yeah, the red rag
yeah,
to a bull, the old that
yeah,
old chestnut.
it's the guys that wear the red backpacks that I worry for, especially around
Yeah.
Pamplona.
No,
It's
it
like you
sounds
guys
like
are
a silly
tempting fate.
question, but again, you should be prepared to encounter wild, large animals on the Camino, and
100%.
yeah, take a
And that's
white
another
bath,
argument for
don't
using
wear red.
trekking poles.
What's
And use
that?
trekking poles. Yeah, people don't, there are people out there that will not carry trekking poles with them, but I'm telling you, they're like the Swiss Army knife of like gear when it comes to the Camino.
Yeah.
And one thing is like dog attacks or cow, something that you gotta, keep at a distance from you. You can always use your sticks.
No, it's multi-purpose.
Oh yeah, hit a snorer,
As one
whatever.
of my favorite motivational speakers says, yeah, Zig Ziglar. You ever heard of him?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, he says you got to get your twofers. You
You
got to
two for
get your
once?
twofers, your two for
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's a
And
twofer.
another one of his funny sayings is, "People with nothing to do want to do it with you."
Words of wisdom right there.
Yeah, you gotta get what you want by helping other people get what they want.
Yeah.
Lovely. Rest
Yeah,
in
that's good
peace, Zig
advice.
Ziglar. You are a legend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I digress. Now, what I love about your channel as well is not only do you give these brilliant tips, tricks, and hacks, many of which haven't been heard before, and with through a very irreverent, humorous lens, you also give some nice talks about history and talk to us about the mysterious power of Spain's cruceros or crosses, as we
Ah,
call them in English. There's more to
yeah.
them than meets the eye, right?
Yeah. The Cruceros, or Cruceros, I guess, around the rest of Spain, but Cruceros in Galicia,
Could be.
they, and if you've ever done the Camino, I'm talking to your listeners, not you, because, oh, I know you've done it. At the crossroads of most towns, entering most towns, you will see these ancient looking crosses on, they're on a pedestal, if you will, or stairs that lead up to it, and they just look ancient. You don't know what they're about. Those were there. Well, there's a few reasons why they were there, but in particular, to I guess let's see, what would you use them for? To repel just bad vibes, bad evil spirits. So whatever the superstition was at the time. Um, and so you'd find them, and you still see them today, often in a state of disarray, but falling apart, but very mysterious. They have like Christ on one side of the cross, sometimes Mary on the other side, sometimes holding two babies, which I found, mysterious in itself. But and sometimes with tables, like small tables attached to them, which were used for like burning candles or leaving, something for the poor, even setting down coffins. Actually, I've recently read. In fact, in England, they have these too. The coffin roads are these like they're like stones on the side of the road that you look like benches almost, but they were actually there for when you were carrying the coffin on the way to the graveyard. It was put it down so you could rest, and they use these in a similar fashion. The little tables there, you'll see them. They really confused me on the last Camino because they were really sticking out on the Primitivo. I was like, what is this? These tables, I've never seen them before. So yeah, um, pretty much there to just repel bad spirits because that was like where the veil was thin at the crossroads. Even in West, in England and even in the United States, early colonial times, they would hang people outskirts of town at the crossroads usually because the ghosts couldn't figure out which road it was to get back there. They had all these reasons, and Spain is no different when it comes to the superstition. But yeah, really cool, ancient looking things that I love and I love to photograph, and I've wrote about on my blog recently
Yeah.
because I find them fascinating.
Lovely. Thanks for that. It's very, very, very,
Yeah,
very,
there's
very
more to it
interesting.
than that. I hate to like just leave it like that. I mean, there was just so many different things going on in that it's tough to cover uh in a few words really. But yeah, they're really super cool. You'll see them everywhere and you'll see them always. I mean, just in people's yards too. So at one time that
Yeah,
yard
yeah,
was
definitely.
a
Yeah,
road. It was at
yeah,
the cross. Like that yard is in the cross. It's
yeah,
just it's really cool.
yeah. And obviously, you got the talking of crosses. You've got the Cruz de Ferro,
Right,
which is the
right.
highest
Which is
point on the Camino Frances.
yeah, and
Cold,
also
windy, misty, and
and possibly.
that's another place of significance as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it probably goes back to Roman times. It might have originally been an
Pagans.
homage, yeah, to Hermes, because
Mm,
as he was like the patron saint of travelers, so you would leave a rock there for safe travel. It was a whole different, it wasn't there leaving your woes or whatnot. It was more
yeah,
about like, can you please make sure I do okay? So
yeah,
there's that. There's the legend of the Santa Campana, which was this invisible like ghost parade that walks around Spain that
yeah,
was supposed to keep
yeah.
out of your town too. So yeah, really interesting stuff. That's what I love about the Camino too, is just like the history and mystery of it all.
Yeah, and where is
Really,
what would life be if it was just all scientific knowledge and black and white? If
yeah, yeah. There's
it's nice
nuance
to
to
think
life,
there's yeah, exactly. It's nice to think that there's more out there. I think anyway. A
Yeah.
scientist would probably shoot me down, but um, those the lovers of the mystics like us keeps life interesting,
Yeah,
I guess.
I think so. I think so.
So you have a YouTube video with tips on foot care, booking tips, Spanish snack tips, and perhaps most importantly, how to always get a bottom bunk. Firstly, tell us why it's always important to get a bottom bunk, then give us some pearls of wisdom on each one.
Okay, so yeah, the bottom bunk, why I prefer the bottom bunk is when I get to the albergue, I want to like put my feet either up against the wall or hang them. And I bring like a special like belt, usually for yoga for like stretching, but I'll tie it to the bottom like rungs of the top bunk and I'll stick my feet through that like I'm in traction. And it's just a really great way to get your feet up and get that blood all, it stops the beating of your feet. And then, so, yeah, immediately you can feel the blood draining from your feet. The pulsating stops, and it's very calming. And it's part of my whole like it's part of my method.
Why is
So
that? Why is
that's
that? Why is that beneficial physiologically?
getting the blood out of your pulsating feet.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know
just
actually. I
feels good.
don't. It feels good. Yeah, it really,
Yeah,
I don't know the science behind that exactly, but yeah, it's just because it's been all day long. The blood's been going there
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
it's part of it brings the swelling down, I guess is what it all saying.
yeah.
That's what you want to do at the end of the day.
Absolutely,
And
yeah.
also cools them, it gets the heat out of there. So for me, this is my own personal experience. I also like having my gear right there where I can reach it as I'm sleeping during the night. Also, you're up the top bunk trying to get down that ladder. You're shaking all those bunks, especially if they're strung together like some of them are. It's like, and so it's like I'm snoring. Now I'm waking people up by shaking them. You're like, you don't want to be that guy. So I always ask for the bottom bunk.
Great tip.
That's,
Fantastic tip. Love that.
yeah. Um, and if you are booking through booking.com for maybe a single room or some other, you maybe somewhere private, you want to get out of the albergues for a day or two. I always, there's a little box on booking.com. This only works really on booking.com, but it's like added notes, maybe an added request or whatnot. I always say, un ventilador or a fan. I ask for a fan. And if they have one, great. They'll put it in your room. You'll always have a fan waiting for you. And it's not because it's hot and there's no air conditioning in Spain, but it's because sometimes you don't have a way to dry your clothes if it's been raining, or there's no dryer there. So it's a simple tip to dry your clothes too with a fan. You can hang them across the room and turn the fan on, oscillating, and your clothes will be dry by morning, hopefully. So there's a few uses for a fan.
Now that's a
So
great tip,
I always
actually.
just ask.
I mean, that reminds me of something that crossed my mind on our most recent Camino. Me and Rachel, my wife, we were on the Camino Fisterra. We were walking
Hmm.
between Santiago and Finisterra, and we went into a place in Negreira, which is the first
Hmm.
stop along the way from Santiago. And we'd already paid to go into this room, and then we went up to the room, and it was horrific, and it was a hotel
Yeah.
as well. So I would say before you go into a room or you book in one of these hotels that aren't chain hotels, ask to
Yeah.
see the room before you pay.
Exactly.
Ask, and
Yes.
they will let you see the rooms.
Yeah.
People in Spain are really they're oldie worldly like that. They don't mind
Yeah.
letting you see the rooms.
Yeah.
It's not like a chain. A lot of these places are family run, and if we
Yeah.
hadn't have paid the money already, we wouldn't have stayed there. That's for sure. And I
Right.
just remember thinking when I read your tip about booking, I thought that's one to do.
Yeah, no, that is good advice. I do that with albergues. If there's albergue after albergue, like they're near each other, mine is will check them out and see what has the better bunks.
Yeah,
Because I mean,
definitely.
I don't want to stay in a wooden bunk if I don't have to. I prefer the metal bunks where they're like,
Yeah,
less likely to have bed bugs and whatnot. So yeah, definitely do that if you can.
good
I
shout.
have no
Really good
shame.
shout. What about the Spanish snack tips?
These recovery bars from Decathlon. Decathlon's like my mecca. Whenever I see one, it's like, oh, I'll walk miles off the Camino just to go to a Decathlon and like window shop, but also to buy snacks as well. So like the
Hold
recovery
those up to
protein
the thing.
bars
Let
are,
everyone have a look at them if you don't mind again. Thank you. So recovery bars, recovery protein bars from Decathlon, which is a massive Spanish sports shop, a big chain. There you go. And if you're not on
yeah.
YouTube, then look them up. Do you know what I found really good? Have you ever heard of an app called Yuka?
No.
Yuka, and you can have this on your phone. And because I kind of live by this app, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's more of a nutritional thing that it basically gives you a score on what each product you're buying has in it. And I can tell you, since I got this app, probably 60 to 70% of my weekly shop has been changed because it tells you whether it's full of good stuff or full of bad stuff. And
Yeah.
that
So
could
it
also
knows it
guide
recognizes the
you.
brand.
Sorry, mate.
It recognizes
It
the brand
recognizes the
name.
brand. Yeah, basically what happens is someone before you has scanned this information, put in the ingredients, and they're
Ah,
able
okay.
to analyze it and tell whether it's good for you or bad for you. It gives you a score out of 100. And if you obviously you're away, you might be thinking, is this good or bad for me? You just put the app up to the barcode and it tells you good or bad. Really good stuff.
Oh,
So
that's wonderful.
yeah, so you might want to do that on your snacks to see if you're eating good stuff or bad stuff, but they're still a really good tip.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
Decathlon's
I'm
always a good
always
tip as
looking.
well because Decathlon, you can get pretty much anything you need, quality stuff at a really good price as well in Decathlon.
Depends on the size though. Some of those smaller decathlons have like they have nothing, and like
Yeah.
even the stick options are like weak and no toe socks. Like toe socks, like decathlon. If you're at a decathlon, don't look in the hiking section for toe socks if that's your thing. Look in the running section. That's where I find them. But in the smaller ones, I never find them. I'm a toe sock guy, so like I'm always on the lookout, and that's what I've run up against. Really, is depends on the size of the decathlon.
Yeah. Thanks for
You
that.
know.
I think we cover. Oh, what was the foot care tip? We need a foot care tip as well.
Foot care tip. I have so many foot care tips. And again,
What's the
these are
most
just
important? What's your
most.
number one for you personally?
Well, I'll say this. For a rainy day, I don't do Gore-Tex. I find Gore-Tex makes my feet sweatier and hotter when I'm hiking. So I don't do Gore-Tex shoes. I do cross trainers. I do Topos. I love them. But to combat against the rain, I wear tiny like toe slips, if you will. They're like toe covers. They're like half a toe sock. They're made out of silk. They're by Tabio. I put those over the front of my toes, and then I wear waterproof socks by Dry Mile. And so that keeps my toes protected, separated from each other, and it also keeps my feet dry inside the cross trainers. So you don't need Gore-Tex. Just bring up, for rainy days, bring a pair of waterproof socks. And that rainy day could be an entire week. So just bring the waterproof socks and the toe
Mate,
covers.
I'm listening to this. I'm taking note because me and Rachel have had the same debate with each
Yeah,
other. But we love our trainers, but we don't want, but they get
I'm
wet.
telling you,
So
the
waterproof
future
socks.
is
And what was the
waterproof
other thing you
socks.
use?
Uh, they're toe covers by Tabio. They're made out of silk. They
How do
have
you
like
spell
green
that?
tea in them too.
Tabio.
Tabio is a Japanese brand. It's Tabio.
Tabio. Okay.
And you'll love this company because they also make soccer socks as well.
Right.
Um, their running socks are what I ideally use every day. But when it comes to rainy days, I just use the toe sock covers.
Yeah.
And you get the largest one. They have small sizes when it comes to that, but I have a large foot and I can fit in the largest ones. But yeah, the Tabio toe covers are the way to go. And the Tabio toe socks, the signature running socks are awesome. They're the best toe socks out there. They have slight compression to them. They have grip silicone on the bottom so your feet don't slide around. They're really great performance socks, like really great technical socks.
This is why everybody you need to go and follow the Shell Toucher because
Yeah.
I've done 90 episodes and you've dropped loads of things that I haven't heard before, which I'm really
I'm
chuffed.
not even done.
Now, this is good stuff. I'm really grateful, and all the listeners are going to be taking notes as well. I'm taking notes. Tabio, Tabio toe socks.
Yeah,
Thank you for that.
no problem.
So you mentioned the Camino Primitivo. Everyone knows about the Norte. Everyone knows about the Frances. Everyone knows about the Portuguese, but the Primitivo is probably the lesser known of the Caminos. One of the roads less traveled. Tell us about why you chose this one over the others, or was it just a case of trying to do as many as you can?
Yeah, it's a little bit of all
How is
that.
it different
I
to the
actually,
others,
um,
if at all?
Well, I'm glad you asked. It's better marked. It's the best marked trail I've ever been on in my life when it comes to Caminos. Actually, probably when it comes to any trail I've ever been on. It's really like there's one yellow arrow after another. It's like whoever went there to mark the trail had a bag of arrows and just like let them go to the wind. I mean, it's real. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're even hidden too. Like you have to look behind the bench and like it's really weird. But yeah, there's arrows everywhere. In fact, during my videos, I don't know if any of your listeners have picked up on this, but I always do like a little beep sound when an arrow comes into the screen. It's like a video game type thing. So you'll always know when there's an arrow around while you're watching it because I've made a tone. But yeah, very, very, very well marked. The food is probably the best food I've had in Spain. It's better prepared, better food quality. The albergues, higher quality, same great price, but higher qualities. The hospitaleros really seem, I mean, I was there in the summer last year, so these people should already be exhausted, but they still had, the spirits about them. They're very kind. I mean, I had like sit downs, like really like heart to heart with the hospitaleros. There's less people. It really was just like, I think it was my favorite Camino
Starts in
so far.
Oviedo, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oviedo.
And
And
good luck with
how
Oviedo.
many
There's like one
kilometers more or
taxi.
less?
I don't remember the exact number,
Right.
actually.
How long walking? About a couple of weeks, three
2 weeks,
weeks,
about 12 days,
Okay.
2 weeks. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I
So
mean,
that could be an
the
alternative.
days are shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah. The days will be a little shorter. I feel like they kind of, the stages, like they kind of, stretched them out a little to make them feel like, you're doing a day's worth. But yeah, it's an awesome, awesome
Terrain
route. I
wise,
absolutely
up
love
and
it.
down, if easy compared to the others.
Hard. If
Right.
you're planning on doing it, definitely hit the stair climber at the gym, or if you have
Yeah.
hills, definitely wear the resistance pants is what it all comes
Yeah.
down to when you're training
Yeah.
because yeah, it'll kill you. I came off the Norte, so I was already in great condition for this. But anyone that I mean, I was meeting people just that were starting on the
Yeah.
Primitivo. I was like, oh wow, you guys, you have, yeah, you're gonna enjoy this. But yeah, it's one hill after another. Take one hill up, take a right. There's another hill. Take a left. There's another hill around the corner. It's just hill after hill after hill.
Could be soul
It never
destroying at
stops.
times, that can't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was definitely it builds character
Yeah.
to say the least. Yeah,
Thank you so
definitely.
much. All right. So
And it
you,
destroys shoes. Shoes that have survived on other Caminos, not necessarily survived, but like models that worked for me on other Caminos
yeah.
were torn up at this. I was gluing them. I was stopping in like hardware stores getting glue. Ferreterias, no ferrets at all. What's up with that? Talk about
That's
false advertising.
money
Big
back.
disappointment when I walked in there. I was like, what's going on here? Sorry. But yeah,
I would like to
the
actually go in
glue.
and ask for a ferret and see what they say.
Yeah, exactly. The guy was looking at me like I was, like, hey, it's on your sign, man. But no, it turns out they didn't speak any English, so all was well. But yeah, glue. I was buying glue a lot of the time. Probably like 3 times I had to glue my shoes back together. And these are quality shoes. Like it's just the rain, the rain plays a lot into this. And I walked through 8 days worth of rain, and I think it was on the Norte actually. And so your shoes just don't get a chance to dry. It's
Yeah,
like
that's hard.
so they're falling apart. Yeah, it really is. And I prep my shoes before I go too. I tape up the hot spots that I know are going to be there because I use the same model every time, so I know where the weak spots are.
Yeah,
Tape them beforehand. Microfiber cloth though. Bring a towel, especially for your shoes. Cut it in half, maybe a small, thin microfiber cloth. Just so instead of using newspaper at the end of the night, use this instead. It pulls more water out than the newspaper will ever will. So
a
I
lot
didn't
less
do that in my
messy as
last one.
well.
A lot less messy too.
Yeah.
And it's greener. It's a greener option as well. But I learned this the hard way on my last Camino. But this next one I'll be prepared with my microfiber cloth.
Brilliant. Another fantastic tip that we haven't heard before. So thank you very much.
No
Maybe you should
problem.
do this job instead of me. Um,
That-
so you ask your followers on your Instagram channel, what's the most magical moment on the Camino? One that made you say, "Wow, this is why I'm here." What was yours?
Well, I was there for the wine, if we're going to be perfectly honest. I was there for the wine fountain. I read something wrong when I was in my 20s, and I assumed that every fountain on the Camino was going to be filled with wine. That was untrue, however. But the magic moments were more like for whatever reason, I get like this psychic ability, almost like serendipitous, synchronistic, like thing where I can manifest stuff into existence, and it's never like stuff I need or like serious, like, mind-blowing stuff. People have profound experiences. I don't. I have like absurd, goofy experiences. It's more Monty Python than profound, I guess. But there's this, like I would be thinking, this happened. I was thinking of the Cookie Monster. I might have been actually been talking about the Cookie Monster, which I haven't talked about in years. Sesame Street with somebody, and I don't know if you're familiar with the Cookie Monster.
Of course.
Okay, of course you are. Yeah. Well, I'm talking, and all of a sudden someone drives by with a bicycle helmet shaped like the Cookie Monster's head. Like right after I just said it, like, and I haven't thought about the Cookie Monster in years. Another time I was in Logroño where I met my wife. Um, I'm not really married, but some girl proposed to me there. It's a little side story. But while I was there, I was talking about the Smurfs. Like that, you never talk about the Smurfs. And then all of a sudden, a group of like four people wearing Smurf costumes walked by me. Like I just called them into it was bizarre. But Logroño is it's a party town, right? People go there for I don't know, wedding parties and all that jazz. So yeah, these people were dressed up as Smurfs. Another time, this time actually was really freaky. I'd been telling my friends about my ability to do this. And one guy I'd been hiking with, every time we bumped into a girl, he'd be like, "Excuse me, is your name?" I think it was Ava. "Is your name Ava?" And he did this every time. I was like, "What's up with this? Is this like a Danish pickup line or something like that?" So I pulled him aside. I was like, "Hey, why do you always do that, man? What's going on here?" He's like, "Well, my first day here, I bumped into a girl named Ava, and she asked me what my favorite band was or something like that, my favorite song was. And I didn't have an answer for it at the time, but I do now, but I can't remember what she exactly looks like. I know her height really and her hair color. That's all I remember. So that's why I do it." And I was like, "Okay, all right." So now we're looking for a cafe that was actually called Ava's. And we were joking around. I was like, "And when we get to Ava's, you're going to bump into Ava." And so, anyways, this was a joke. But we get there, we're in line at this cafe, and he turns to me like white as a ghost. He's like, I can't even talk to this girl in front. I was like, "Wait, what are you talking about?" He's like, "I was the girl in front of me. Her name is, it's not the same Ava, but her name was Ava. Her friend called her Ava." So I was like, "Well, I can tell her." So I pushed him out of the way. And I was like, "So girls," and this is what's been going on with me. And yeah, so like that's my magical special ability on the Camino. I need to try to use it for something bigger maybe, but
So, Hodges, the lap of honor round. We all know that the lap of honor, the most fitting lap of honor for the Camino is when you get to Santiago. Treat yourself to 3 or 4 more days walking from Santiago to finish there. In my opinion, they are 4 of the most beautiful days of walking on any Camino. So these are short, sharp, quick answers on the lap of honor round. So your
okay.
favorite Camino, blog, book, vlog, and/or film?
Well, I don't know if you've heard of this one. It's called The Only Way Is West.
I haven't told
It's
him to
by
say this. People are going to think I'm telling him to say this. I'm not. I didn't
It
protect.
actually is. It's one of my favorite books. I always recommend it too. And if to the listener out there, if you want a great read that's a little different than most, actually the majority of Camino books, fun, full of life, vim and vigor, and some serious comedy, you should definitely check out Bradley's book. But yeah, that's one of my favorite books. Another one is Off the Road by Jack Hitt. That's pretty much the one that started it all for me. I bought it at a Bucket bookstore in 1997
I
when I was
want
on
this
break
book.
from. Oh, it's great. It's great. It's a great book. And you know, a lot of the scenes in On the Way were taken directly from this book, lifted from it, in fact. So I'm
Wow.
watching this like the movie for the first time, and I'm like, why do I know this? I've never seen this movie before, but I know these scenes. Like I thought that thing was happening again. No, I realized after the fact, like, oh, Emilio read this book also, and
Yeah.
yeah. So that's what a lot of the scenes from On the or The Way are coming from. Next book, I know it was one book, but there's another one by Giles Tremlett called Ghosts of Spain, which is more history, but touches upon the Camino slightly. But it's a really great, like, you know, I mean, if you're into Spain and want to learn a bit more of the culture and the people and the history, because the Camino is wrapped up in like Camino history, but there's also other history, especially, you know, during the Civil War and whatnot, that you're walking through as well. And you should know what you're walking through because often you're walking over things that you should know. And so there's that. There's also a great book called, and this one's free. It's about the Primitivo. And this is what really got me hip to the Primitivo. I think it's on Audible. It's an audiobook. And it's called The First Pilgrim. It's by Terence Callery. So you can listen to that while you're hiking, while you're training, whatever. And if you, especially if you're doing the Primitivo, it'll get you all hyped up. But it's a great historical fiction. So those are that. I mean, and also there's an audiobook that I really enjoyed called A Sense of Direction by Gideon Lewis Krause. Also a very funny take on the Camino. He's a great writer too. And yeah, it's a little more artsier. He's coming from a more art, like a German arts type scene almost. But yeah, a really great. I like the fun ones, you know. I don't like the people that take themselves way too seriously. And I like a mix, I guess, you know. And those are the authors I enjoy.
Sweet. Thank you very much. I'll be looking up a few of those for sure. Biggest mistake you made on your first Camino?
It wasn't on my first, it was on my second Camino. It was, in fact, it was doing the second Camino. I did the Frances again, looking for that same experience that I had on the first one, and it's never as good as the
You
first
and me
time, or
both.
not necessarily.
You and me both.
Yeah, it's a different. It was almost a downer, like because it wasn't like
Yeah.
it wasn't clicking the same way it did on the
Yeah.
first one. And then I was like, but I was really well trained. I was like in the best shape of my life for that one. But I was so trained. I trained up to the point that I left. I didn't like taper off a couple weeks before I left, so I was still in like recovery mode when I hit there. And I was as soon as I got there, I started popping Camino candy. I mean, ibuprofen, like it was going out of style. And I think I really just hurt myself that way. I was like numbing the pain and working through it. And like by day four, I was jacked. I jacked up my tibia. So I had to hang out in Burgos for about 4 days trying to nurse myself back to health and wondering like, should I rent a bike? Am I going to be able to finish this? Like it was a bummer all around, but it worked. 3 days, 4 days in bed there. I was buying the only books I could find in English. I've read like 3 books that time, but just like putting ice on it, keeping my feet up against the wall, nursing myself back to health. But that's what I did. I came at it too cocky, and I also came at it looking for the same experience I had the first time. And it wasn't until I did the Norte and the Primitivo that I got that freshness again, you know, like a new
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
But
It's a sense of expectation can be anticlimactic, can't it? Definitely.
yeah, don't do it again. If that,
Yeah.
wait some time before you do, or do it with a friend. But don't look for that same experience the first time. That was my mistake.
Tell us where to find a Camino hidden gem, a town, city, village that's a stunner that's not well known. You know, most people talk about Burgos, Leon, or Logroño. Tell us somewhere that no one knows, but they should know.
Well, I'm not even going to tell you. Well, I'll tell you a thing. It's a thing about a
Go.
thing. It's called the bench. The bench of. I think it's the bench. Yeah, bench of whispers. Have you heard of that?
No.
Okay, the bench of whispers. Ricky from the Camino Tellers actually. I hiked in with those guys last summer, and he showed this to me. It's a bench. It's like a round circular bench. It's actually there's one. There's two of them. There's one before you get into Santiago. A couple villages before Santiago. I don't think it's in Melita. It might be on the outskirts of Melita, where you sit on one end of the bench and someone sits on the other, and you can whisper into the bench, and it makes its way around the bench. The other person can hear you as clear as day, and they're speaking at a whisper, and they're far away from you. Um, and there's another one inside Alameda Park, inside Santiago. They're like a circular bench. It's not like a bench, I guess, but it's a bench you can sit on, but it's circular. You'll know it when you see it. But yeah, if one person sits at one end and another person sits at the other, you can whisper and the other person will hear you. And they were created, I think, in around 1916. And it was a time where people like, you know, you couldn't, you know, there were certain things I guess you couldn't talk about out loud, or maybe you know couples getting together. This is how they would communicate through whispering on these
How
benches.
cool.
So yeah, so check that out. Like that's in
Another thing
Santiago.
we've not heard before. Love this. Okay. One thing you wish you'd packed.
That's a difficult one because I'm an overpacker. So there's like,
Remember, these are short, sharp answers, Shell Toucher. You got to get
okay, one thing. What was the question?
one thing you wished you'd packed.
I don't have an answer for that one.
Don't worry, that's good enough. One thing you,
Yeah.
one thing you didn't need and wouldn't take again.
Oh, that would be the micro or the mini microfiber towel by Cedar Summit. It's way too thin. I mean, it packs down to the size of your fist, but it's way too thin. And if you're like me, you dry your hair first, which is the worst thing you can do with these things because it immediately soaks the towel, so you can't dry the rest of your body. And I use towel drying when I'm washing clothes. I dry them with a towel first and then hang them up. But with this towel, you can only use it for either your body or your clothes. You can't use them for both because it's too thin and absorbs way too much water too fast. So I'll never use that again.
Thank you. A quote or mantra for tough times on the road, which we all experience.
Necesito sufrir, which is Espanol for I need to suffer.
I need to suffer. One stoic
Yeah.
quote comes to mind, and that would be hard choice, easy life.
Yeah, exactly.
Hard
Yeah.
choices, easy life.
Yeah, necesito.
Okay, so let's look at the last one in this lap of on around is a Camino app or internet resource you used before, during, or after the Camino.
Wise Pilgrim app is what I use. But my first Camino, I used Camino, what was it? Camino Ninja? Camino Ninja, I think it's called. But that the maker, the app guy, the guy who was in, who created it died, and it fell into,
Oh,
sort
that's
of
a shame.
ill repair. Yeah, I think it's back up and running, but yeah, Wise Pilgrim app I use. I mean, I have problems with all of them. They all seem to say something different. Like you'll be in a group of people and everyone's holding up their app and they all say that you're in the wrong place or you're in the right place. So it's like I recommend putting maybe three different ones on your phone, and one of them is sure to be right sometimes.
Yeah, three out of one, or one out of three, or two out of three in
Yeah,
bad. That's
yeah,
what someone
yeah,
once
yeah.
sang.
It's not bad.
Right. So now this question wasn't on our list, but I'm gonna just kind of like do it as we begin to close the interview. That's not an interview. You're not getting a job, are you? This is a chat.
Yeah, I thought I was
What am I
getting a
talking
job.
about?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Reminds me of the Monty Python sketch. Is this the 5 minute? Was it 5 minute argument or the 10 minute argument?
Yeah,
It's the
exactly.
5 minute. No, it's the 10 minute argument. No, it's not. It's the 5 minute
It's
argument.
probably been an argument. Yeah,
I
I just
love that.
I saw the Holy Grail in the theater last night. I saw it on the big screen, so it's
Oh
funny
right,
that you
yeah.
bring that up now.
There you go. It's happening again. It's happening
Right?
again. Yeah,
See
it's
what
happening
I
again.
just do this.
You have the power, oh toucher of the
Yeah,
shell.
yeah, yeah.
So the Camino magic is when you've been walking for 20K and you see a sign up ahead that says cafe. Never did a cafe sign mean so much and hold so much promise in your life. What's the Camino magic for you?
I think tortilla. Tortilla is just like the Camino magic for me. It's what tacos are to most people. Tortilla is to me. It's just like the perfect food.
It's got
It really
energy.
is.
It's fluffy. It's silky.
Yeah, it's like the original energy bar. I mean, it's got the complex carbohydrates, the
It's got the
potatoes, it's
protein.
got the flavor of the onions, it's got the protein. Yeah, it keeps you going strong all morning long, and then some. So I love to, and tortilla is like one of the few things I really eat in Spain because everything else I'm just like, I don't know if I want a fried egg on French fries right now. Again, and then
Yeah,
chased with bread, and then have
yeah.
some more bread after that
That's
bread.
a
It's like,
staple.
yeah, it's like stale bread, and egg on something weird. It's almost like I
It's
don't
more
know,
like
like
something with which you would stone somebody, the bread sometimes, isn't it? Like
yeah, you could definitely kill someone with it. It's just like bachelor food. It's like who's coming up with these recipes? It's like some like college kid in his kitchen, like, okay, I got one. I got one. We'll put the egg on the salad this time, and like, I don't know. With corn. I don't it's fascinating. So tortilla, I stick with tortilla. That never really fails until it's the runny tortilla, which you get in some parts of the Camino. But yeah, tortilla is where it's at. What
yeah,
was the question? I'm just going to answer
yeah.
all the
Just talk
questions
about
with tortilla.
tortilla. Yeah, just got an hour left. How much more do you think about
Yeah,
tortilla?
yeah. Tortilla.
So if you don't know,
Yeah.
that is like a very typical Spanish breakfast that you'd get in a cafe with a café con leche, and yeah, they seem to go very well together.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like
Cafe
rama
Solo. I
lama
do
lama
cafe.
diggity ding dong.
Yeah.
What kind of cheesy crap was that? Right. Okay. All right. So talking of
Rama
songs,
Lama
while
Ding
we've
Dong.
moved to songs, kind of accidentally, is the perfect
Ah,
segue to a
yeah, that was
Camino
nice. Okay.
song that gets you in the mood or ready for the Camino or reminds you of the Camino.
Okay. It's not even a song, it's an album I listen to. It's by Tears for Fears. It's Everybody Loves a Happy Ending. And it's one of their probably most unknown albums of all time, but I think it's their best. I think it's actually one of the best albums of the last 20 years. Came out in 2004, I believe, but that album could have been written for a pilgrim. Like every song hits after it's like, oh my God. And like you'll be walking in a place where it's like, oh my God, I just heard that word. And like, I mean, it's really talk about like synchronistic events. Like that
Mm.
album it's beautifully written. You hear the Beatles influence more than ever and they always do it so well. But this album it's magic. Do you know this album?
No, I only know one song by that band.
By Tears for Fears?
Yeah, yeah. Everybody wants to
Yeah,
rule
yeah.
the world.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's
but
classic. But this album, I'm telling you.
that's a good recommendation. You are coming up with stuff that I would never not expect you to say with every question, and I'm really happy about that. My
There's
my,
another good
my quest was to cover new ground with the resumption and the resurrection of this podcast, and you're certainly doing that. Oh, toucher of the shell.
Oh, shucks. Shucks.
I think that brings us neatly to the close, and it's really important where people know they can get more of your funny Camino content.
Well, they can definitely find me at let's see, my YouTube channel. You could find me on YouTube under just Shell Toucher, but I have like a domain too that'll take you directly there. It's shelltouchertipsandtraining.com.
Yep.
You can also find me on my website. I design like Camino gear. Like I've designed a sling bag specifically for the pilgrims, as well as other things too, like a multi-use soap bar, towels, like all types of weird stuff that have ideas that came to me while on the Camino, my first Camino. That's at shelltoucher.com. Lots of fun stuff there. I'm easy to get in contact too through that as well. On Instagram, shell_toucher. And then I've created a Camino group because of how I feel about a lot of the other Camino groups. Like I wanted to do one where it's not judgy and there's no jerks allowed. It's called the Kind Pilgrim Collective. So Camino de Santiago
Oh, is
Kind
that you?
Pilgrim Collective. That's me, yeah, on Facebook.
Oh, I have to join that.
Yeah, there's no, I'm the only moderator there, and I don't let anyone, like, I don't, no one says, go Google it. Google the answer. I hate that. It's like, why are we here for telling people to Google it? We should be helping each other. So, yeah, that's my modus operandi when it comes to running a Camino group. So, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely join.
like we said in the pre-Camino, in this pre-interview chat, we've both been scolded online in certain Camino
Yeah,
groups.
spanked.
Um,
It's like, I'm an adult here, and it's like, don't
yeah,
talk about that albergue because it has bed bugs. They'll lose
or
business.
don't
It's like, yeah,
post
but I'm
your
gonna
don't.
be there.
Yeah, yeah, don't post
Okay.
your Camino. Don't post your Camino themed um
Yeah, in the Camino
in
place.
the
Don't
Camino
post your
groups.
irrelevant
Yeah,
Camino
you
thing. Yeah,
posted on
it's
the
like,
wrong day, banned.
yeah,
It's
yeah, exactly.
like I'm
And they
sorry.
have like 20
Yeah,
mods, and, like all these, and so everyone's different. Like it's like you don't know
yeah.
who you're. It's just I
I
don't
get
know.
you.
I don't
Right, I'm
understand
joining
it.
that group because I must admit I left all the groups, I left all the forums. As like, you know what,
Oh, come on, yeah,
I'm staying where the vibe's good.
yeah,
And yeah, and if whatever happens, happens. You just post it, and people find it eventually, maybe. And if they don't, then it's not
exactamente.
meant to be. But right, we also need to join your group, which is tell everyone again. Sorry,
Yeah, it's the Kind Pilgrim Collective on Facebook. It's
love
Camino
that,
de Santiago Kind Pilgrim Collective. Please join
love that.
and participate.
Well, I think just thanks for being a really, really entertaining guest. That's been great to chat with.
Oh, it's awesome to
Even
be here.
just pilgrim to pilgrim.
This is really great. I used to hike through the deserts of Arizona when I lived there, listening to your podcast, brother.
Oh
And I was
my
like,
god,
someday,
I'm surprised you didn't
someday
fall
I'm going to be.
asleep.
No, no, no. It's been good stuff. And your book too. I've listened to your book twice while hiking on over
Really,
the years.
that's mad.
Yeah.
Well, thank you,
No, it's
mate, for buying my book as
highly
well.
entertaining.
I definitely owe you a canya, which is a
That's
small beer.
disgusting. You kiss your mother with that mouth? For
And
sure.
just for your next Camino, O Tatra of the Shell, buen camino.
Buen camino, sir.
Well, I really hope you enjoyed that episode with Hodges the Shell Toucher. As I said, tons of Camino tips we've never heard before. Thank you, Hodges, for a brilliant interview. And just before we go, I hope you enjoyed this extract from my Amazon bestseller, my Camino de Santiago memoir, UK comedy chart bestseller, and travel writing bestseller. It's The Only Way is West, a little teaser just before you go. Thanks, everybody. See you next month. Cheers.
Chapter 13. Crier's Diary. Proper prior planning prevents piss-poor performance, a maxim drummed into me by my boss in my first job after university. They were words I took very seriously as I prepared for potentially the hardest day yet. For the next 30 kilometres, shade would be scarce, water fountains few and far between, and the sun turned up to turbo. Wear your hat and fill your water bottles, my guidebook strongly advised. Taking heed of my thus far infallible paperback pal, I did as I was told. While I was there, I stuck another pill under the tongue, slapped Factor 50 all over, used a bandana to keep the sun off my neck, and declared myself fit for the fight. On the edge of town, where the Camino snuck back into the countryside, I stopped on a bench and scoffed everything edible in my backpack. 4 muesli bars, an apple, and a banana later, I was back on the road. On the good luck charm Chappers had sent, which I still carried with me, he'd signed off with the words, "I'll be thinking of you roaming and singing your day away." And that's exactly what I did. Wandering down the paths and dirt tracks, passing clusters of fellow greenos, recuperating underneath the sparsely scattered trees, I sang loudly and proudly. Some looked at me like I'd been let out for the day, others laughed, and a few clapped and cheered me on. After 1 week with nothing but the bare essentials and a budget of €16 per day, I was happier than I'd ever been in my life. Stronger than I'd ever felt before. No one could do or say anything to take away my sense of indestructibility. When I sang Afterglow by Genesis, I choked back the tears as the words resonated with me more than ever before. I'd always imagined the song to be about a man finally finding his calling after escaping into the wilderness. Everything his life revolved around before his epiphany was rendered insignificant and worthless. A strange road to be walking. On the Camino, I was having a similar realization. All that I believed before was now being challenged and turned upside down. It had struck me how the strange road I'd walked upon wasn't actually where I was right now. It was my meaningless pre-Camino life and every shallow aspect of my existence, hopelessly dreaming of becoming a rock star, getting drunk every weekend, dating girl after girl, but committing to none of them. Compared to this voyage of self-discovery, it was superficial, pointless and immature. Like the life of someone else I pitied and wanted to help. Once I started crying, I couldn't stop. I tried singing In the Cage, another Genesis gem, where Peter Gabriel writes about rocking his baby to sleep with sunshine in his stomach. But I couldn't even finish the first line without having to dry my eyes. In a cafe the next day, as I wrote up that moment, I drenched the pages, blubbering like a wedding day mother, imagining how my heart would flood with love, rocking my own baby to sleep. What was going on? What had happened to me? I'd sung those words hundreds, possibly 1,000 times and never ever cried. I wondered if it might be the work of a phantom phenomenon I'd read about on various Camino internet forums. There were numerous threads suggesting that the path to Santiago ran directly over some of the Earth's energy chakras or ley lines. These are considered to be our planet's meridians, through which its energies and life force flow, and are allegedly aligned between ancient landmarks and religious sites. The lines are meant to be straight, navigable paths orientated to sunrise and sunset at solstices. In her book, Shirley MacLaine claims that not only are ley lines loaded with the spiritual energy of the Earth and the Sun, but they are also supercharged by the stars and galaxies. One of these is the Milky Way, believed by pilgrims with paranormal tendencies to unfurl directly over the Camino. Many people on the forum had posted about how the spiritual mines planted along the path had resulted in them having an explosion of emotions and vivid dreams as they reported feeling a strong connection to a supreme, divine energy. One woman even believed that walking the Camino had cured her terminal cancer. Was I too benefiting from this spiritual acupuncture? Could that explain my mood surges, heightened emotional sensitivity and tearful outbursts? 20 more kilometres ticked off, I reached the town of Viana, where I straightened myself out with some food before pushing on to Logroño. 3 things you hoped for when taking a break were shade, a fountain with drinking water, and, if it was your lucky day, grass. In an urban recreation park, I hit the jackpot with all 3. Sprawling out underneath some trees by a thirst-slaking fountain next to a kids' play area, I planted my burning bare feet on the cool grass. Draining my flask of every last drop, I laid back, closed my eyes and sighed with satisfaction as I breathed in the invigorating smell of the freshly cut green. The drone of distant traffic, the revving of an engine from a nearby mechanic's workshop, and the buzz of a hedge trimmer all faded away as I let the grass swallow me up and the ants crawl all over me. The richest man, they say, is he who needs the least to be happy. I felt like a billionaire. With the ants now committing suicide crawling in my pants, I went back to the fountain and cooled off some more by throwing cold water over my head and down my neck. Doubling my pleasure were all the new faces that had come to join me. The first was a very friendly Danish lady. Though I didn't quite catch her unpronounceable name, I did understand when she divulged her dietary objectives for the journey. "I will not eat ice cream until I arrive to Santiago," she declared before sinking her teeth into a juicy tomato the size of a cricket ball. The next arrivals into what was fast becoming the most popular place on the Camino were Paul, the Englishman, his American wife, and their friend, Bence, the Hungarian. As well as his own rucksack, Paul was also bearing the weight of another, which belonged to a German woman who was further back and struggling with dodgy knees. I told him the Swindon Town football shirt he was wearing ruined such admirable altruism, and some harmless banter about our footballing allegiances broke the ice. Everybody who came to picnic with me on the grass and caught a glimpse of my bupples strongly suggested I seek medical assistance. A young Scottish lass offered some advice to help me survive in the meantime. "Change your socks halfway through the day. Works wonders," she promised with a wink and a thumbs up. Another pearl came from her English friend. "Clean your clothes in the shower, saves time and water." Though nothing to do with my blisters, it was nonetheless a very useful tip. More helpful hints came from a Kiwi girl. As luck would have it, she was a chiropodist. "Can I have a squeeze at your blisters?" "I'm not letting you squeeze my blisters," I barked back. "Not squeeze, moron. Squeeze, as in have a look." I showed her tentatively, ready to pull my foot away if she did actually try and squeeze them. "Yeah, nah, you gotta get those seen to, mate," she warned. "Until then, change your socks every hour and a half to reduce moisture. And next time you get some boots, make sure they're half a size bigger." She had one more piece of advice. "You need some hiker's wool. You can buy it really cheap online. As soon as you feel a hot spot, you whack some of that on. Straight up, that stuff is mean as. It's like magic and stops them getting any worse."
If you enjoyed that extract, just search for The Only Way is West on Amazon and you'll find the paperback, the ebook and the audiobook version. Thanks everybody, see you soon.